Hi friends, it's Chari. Welcome back to my channel and another FLOSSTUBE video. Let's see, today is FLOSSTUBE 28, I believe. It is July 3rd when I'm filming, so happy Independence Day to all of you in the US. I hope that you have a nice long weekend with the holiday. I'm going to show some patriotic stitches today. I have started some new ones, and I also brought in a bunch of older ones that are finished and thought I'd do a little patriotic stitch parade. Let's see, I also have the stitch along to talk about, the hands-on design craft room series. We are starting the second pattern in the series, which is I Was Stitching, so we'll talk about that a little bit. I'm just looking around at my things I brought in here. I know I've been gone for about a month, so I have lots to share today. So before I flip to my desktop, I will put up my graphic here for the I Was Stitching pattern. So this is the second in a series of 3, so we will have a third one coming out. I started mine, I was going to start on June 29th. Full disclosure, I started on June 30th. I was gone to Las Vegas for an entire week for a work thing, for a retailer trade show. I work for a paper crafting company. I work for Lawn Fawn, in case you did not know. And we were showing our fall products to retailers and filling orders and all that. And needless to say, I was drained when I got back. I had a overnight red-eye flight on Friday night into Saturday, and if anybody knows anything about air travel and what happened on Friday in Atlanta, everything was kind of a hot mess. So I actually didn't get home until the next flight into Asheville, which was like 1 o'clock. Didn't have any luggage. I had to wait for 3 more flights to come into Asheville for my luggage to finally show up. I was pretty tired. I slept for 13 hours Saturday night into Sunday. I feel more human now. I did put some stitches in while in Vegas. Honestly, I did it when I got home, but I was still on Vegas time. I hadn't slept. I didn't have luggage. I consider that a Vegas start in my book. So I'll show you that in my new starts. Yeah. Anyway, back to the stitch along. So I started it on the, actually, I guess it was the 29th. Did I say it was going to be the 29th or 20th? I don't even know. I feel like that whole weekend was just a big blur. Anyway, so I started on the 29th. I've stitched about 2 nights. I'm not quite done with part A. That is where I started. I started at the top, but I'm getting close. So I'll show you that too. So hopefully you are stitching along with us. We have a hashtag to use, but even better is if you tag me at Chari Moss and Kathy at Hands On Design on your social media, because we can really see it that way, and we do like to reshare and share your lovely progress with everybody. So let me flip to my desktop and I'll get started showing you all the things. I guess I should start with haul, which I actually didn't even pull. Let me go back here and grab it. Me and my sister went to Sassy Jack's, I guess before I went to Vegas. I got a little sticker while I was there. So Sassy Jack's Stitchery is our local needlework shop, and me and Stacy went there. It was the Saturday before I had to leave. And I picked up a few things while I was there. I am always a sucker for some fabrics. I got the Fox and Rabbit flannel flower in 36 count. I have some of this in 40. I really love it. I just love the modeling on it. So I picked up some at 36. And then this one is called Peto's Key. I just thought it looked kind of cool and would be cool for maybe some Halloween stitches maybe. It has a lot of modeling on it. It's very white base with gray modeling. So pick that one up as well, and that one is needle and flax. That one's also 36 count. What else did I get? Oh man, I have a lot of things here, more than I thought. She was having a sale on her Lady Creates, so I picked up a couple of those. And oh, let's see what else I got here. I had already picked up Kathy's That's a Wrap, which I don't know if I've shown that actually. Maybe it's in here too. Oh, here it is. This one I got from somewhere online. I don't even remember now. It's been a while. So this is the hands-on design. That's a Wrap Patriotic collection. And then at Sassy Jack's, she had the Summer House Stitchworks. And so I picked that up. So I have both of those to make some little patriotic ribbon type things. While at Sassy Jack's, I also came across this one, which is an older hands-on design, Where Liberty Dwells, and I just thought that was kind of a cool stitch, so I picked that one up too. She was having a sale on hands-on design charts. And then me and my sister are headed to Amsterdam next year for a vacation, and we had actually already looked at charts to pick something out to commemorate our trip. So when we went back this last time, she picked up one that was from Satsuma Street, and this is the one I picked up. This is kind of more, I love Satsuma Street actually, but this one is more my size, let's just say. And I do like that it is all in one color blue, and I already actually picked out my blue and just tucked it in here. So I'm going to go with Wavy Navy for the Reflections of Amsterdam, my ink circles. And I've never actually stitched in ink circles before, so I think that will be fun. And then I also picked up Tomato Hill. I think this one was also with the online order that I can't remember where it was from. I've had this one on my wish list for a little while. Full disclosure, I do not like tomatoes, but I just think this is adorable, and they almost look like pumpkins to me, so we're going to go with it. The other thing in my little haul bag here is some color and cotton. This one was one of their kaleidoscope gradients, and then they had some special colors as well. I'll just pull these out. So this is Tungsten, Harbor Seal, Belladonna, and Aspen. I thought those were pretty. And then we'll just look at these two. These came as a set. Cornflower, Thistle, Sea Moss, Artichoke, and Canary. So I have some more colors to put in my stash. So that is my haul. All right, well, I'm just going to start out with this new start since we've already talked about it, which is the I Was Stitching. And by the way, nothing is ironed today. Sorry. So this is how far I've gotten. Let me pull out my, I printed out so I can put it on the camera easy. So I'm working on part A that I had mapped out kind of 3 parts for our stitch along. So I'm working on the top part here. So I've got a pretty good start. I got a few more letters, and then I have like the shadowing of the letters, and then the I was, and then there's some back stitching that are little stitching lines in the word stitching, which I think is really cute. And if you followed along with the Call Me Crafty stitch along, you know that I kind of changed my colors a little bit. So here's my color palette. It's the same as Call Me Crafty. I made my reds a little more pinky red. And then I pulled in oranges, yellows, and purples. These are not in the chart, as you can tell. For the Call Me Crafty, I use these to do the quilt squares. And so on this one, I'll probably do the same. I'll do the quilt squares in some different colors. So I'm using the same color palette I used on Call Me Crafty. And then this is my progress so far on I Was Stitching. I do think that by the end of the weekend, by the end of my week 1, I should have the first part done. Okay, more news starts. This one is part of the series from the Drawn Thread, and this is Simply Summer. And I got started on this so that I could finish this up. Here's my colors. These are all the called for colors. So I lay those right there, and this is how far I have gotten. Now this is stitched on 32 count Prairie Land, I think. I'll put it, it's across the bottom. This is the last one I have to stitch. So I did spring, autumn, winter, and then now I have summer. So that's kind of my motivation. I wanted to finish up this series, get it done, and then I'm going to figure out how I want to frame it in an interchangeable way, hopefully. So let me fold it back here. So mine's definitely a darker fabric than what it looks like here, although the called for fabric is dirty, which if you've looked up dirty linen, it's very brown. So I don't quite understand the picture. But the thing I like about all these charts is they all have some specialty stitches. So like autumn had the little satin leaves. Winter had teeny tiny little Smyrna crosses. This one had some satin stitches and tiny little Smyrna crosses as well. Now this one has some really fun stitches. There's a bee. Actually, there's not a bee. There's lots of bees. See all the little bees? The hive is also satin stitches or long stitches, and then there's also this tiny little ladybug. So I got a lot of fun stitches coming my way on the Simply Summer by the Drawn Thread. And let's see, what else did I start? Now I have some patriotic starts, some more than others. This one is Gave Proof Through the Night by Sweet Wings Studio, and here is my start on that. And I just pulled my own colors, so I will let you know here what I have. Let's see, I used Weeks Dye Works Navy for my blue, Weeks Dye Works Grits for the white, Ribbon Red for the red. I do have more of this. I need to pull it out of my stash. For the brown is Trail Dust, and then Classic Colorworks Paving Stones is the dark gray. So I do have quite a bit more. I'm to the flag, which is a lot of solid fill in, which is not always my favorite. So I kind of sat this one aside for a little while, but I really kind of just want to finish this to put it with some photographs that we have on our wall in our hallway of my husband's grandfathers, both of them in their military uniforms. I think that this would be a nice long stitch. It's this very skinny wall, and the picture frame is two stacked on top of each other. I think this would be nice beside it. And I kind of want to finish it not in a frame, but maybe as a little banner. So like with a rod at the top so it can hang down. So that's my plan for this. And then I have another stitch that I had finished previously and finally framed that I'll share that I think might go on the same wall too. So that is Our Flag Was Still There by Sweet Wings Studio. Long May She Wave. Now this came as a kit. This is the picture on the chart. The other side of this is the charts. I can't share it with you, but the colors are just called for, like red, blue, white, green, brown. That's all it says, but it came as a kit, so it came with the floss already in it. So it's all classic colorworks. So we have Cherry Cobbler, Chesapeake Bay, Chopped Chives, 12 grain, and Almost Auburn. And those are the colors that came with the kit. And then I picked my own fabric, and this is Saltbush by Fox and Rabbit, 36 count. So it's going to be kind of little tiny. I'll probably make it into a tiny little pillow, but that is Long May She Wave. It's coming along pretty good. I'm down to, like, the words went really fast. Now I'm down to this, which is a little more solid with the houses, but just taking them one at a time. And then I have one more patriotic start. This is the one I started on Vegas time. And hopefully the picture is in here. Yes. So this is Thread White and Blue by Hands On Design. So it is the little pincushion, which is what I started on. This is actually the part that kind of wraps around the bottom. You can kind of see it here. And then there is a little needle book, which I'm excited about that too. I like stitching on perforated paper and making projects that are a little bit different, which is what excites me about this whole project here. I do have the called for colors for the floss, which are all Weeks Dye Works. So there's the color palette. But I changed my fabric. So this calls for raw, 32 count raw. I am stitching on 36 count Boston by Seraphim Fabrics. I use this on my Abraham Lincoln stitch, which I'm going to share in a little bit. And there it is, Seraphim Boston 36 count. And I just really love the color of this fabric. I just think it's so pretty. The gray is just a perfect gray with some modeling in it, and I just think it's so pretty. And I think these colors are going to look really great on it, and it's really going to, the white's going to stand out really nicely. So that's Thread White and Blue. This is definitely going to be a focus project for July. Even though the 4th of July will have come and gone, I like to stitch Patriotic kind of all summer long. I don't really stitch a lot of summer stitches, so Patriotic is my summer stitching. It's all the whips that were also new starts, so I will move on to finishing. Again, sorry this is not ironed, but this is another Patriotic. This is a free chart Friday from Primrose Cottage Stitches, and I just picked my own threads. So I've got Whitewash, Wavy Navy, and Candy Apple, and I stitched this on 36 count Platinum. My stars don't show up really well. I have ordered some small white star buttons from Just Another Button Company, and when they come, I'm going to sew those over top of my stars. And then the way I want to finish this one is I purchased, this is the Twice as Nice flower from Chantel's 141. And so this is a little stand that you build. There's a tall one and a short one. This is the short one. And this is going to fit right in here perfectly. And I think that will be so super cute. So that's my plan for finishing this one. I'm just waiting on my buttons to come so I can finish this one up and maybe add this to my Patriotic display this year. Now I do have a couple other strawberry things I was working on last time. I know this was a finish last time, but this is the Hands On Design strawberry. Let me find the picture. Maybe. There it is. I also have the blueberry and I don't remember the other one. Mulberry? I don't know. This is the first one. I think what I'm going to do is stitch them all and then finish them all at the same time so that my finishing matches. But this is on 32 count raw using the called for DMC colors. So that is Hands On Design strawberry. And then the other strawberry thing I have finished, not in this bag, hold on. Strawberry Fields. So this is from October House Fiber Arts. The Strawberry Fields. The Strawberry Patch. Fields Patch. Too many strawberry things going on. I believe this one is, I use the called for DMC. So there is Weeks Dye Works and Classic Color Works, but I use the DMCs. And I actually made some changes in case you can't tell. I wanted more pinks and reds. So these green, white strawberries, I changed to the 2 colors of pink. And for these up here, I did the same. I also changed some of the colors in here to have the red instead of the dark brown. I think that might be the only color I changed. I think that light brown was the same. I changed that X to be red instead of brown. I just wanted more reds in mine. And I do not remember what this fabric is off the top of my head, but it will be across the bottom of the screen here, of course. So that is the strawberry patch. I'm going to make this into a little pillow. I already have my fabric kind of picked out for the back of it. So there is that one. And I think that is all the ones I was working on. So let's look at like a patriotic finish parade. I went and decorated yesterday with my patriotic stuff, and I just went and pulled them all so you could see them. So this is hands-on design Liberty pennies. I'll put the information for this below. I used my own colors that I picked out, and I used not the called for fabric. This is denim, I want to say bold, by Color and Cotton. I'll put all that information on the screen and in the description below. So I just did my own for this. I didn't go find the chart to show you what it originally looks like, but you can look that up. Finished on the round with some rickrack, some ribbons, the little pin. And then this is Chantel's 141 Design Company's basic round. This is also what I use for my botanical bee. And it is what I will use for my ladybug picnic, so it will match the botanical bee. I just don't glue the base in so that I can take it off and store it flat, but it stays in the base nicely when you just set it on your tiered tray or whatever. There is actually a finishing tutorial video for how I finished this, how I distressed it, how I did inking on it. So I will put a link in the description below to that video on my YouTube channel. So that's Liberty Pennies. And that sits on my tiered tray. Now beside my tiered tray, I have this one that I cannot remember the name of off the top of my head. Maybe Miss Liberty? I'm not sure. It's Teresa Kogut. I think this is One More Reproduction is the fabric. I think the colors are called for. Again, I'll put all this information on the screen when I can go back and look. I stitched this one last year. And then the frame is just from Hobby Lobby. It already comes kind of distressed. I just distressed it a little bit more just so it didn't quite look so perfectly distressed by a machine. But I just love her. I love her. I pulled her out again this year and I was like, oh yes, I really do love her. I think her striped skirt is my favorite part of this whole thing. And then another framed piece is this one, which I just finished not too long ago, but I just now put it in a frame. This is a 6x8 frame, which is not a normal size that's easy to find. But this one I actually found at walmart.com. So I didn't actually get it at the store. I ordered it, and I really like how it looks. It's kind of rustic, and I think it goes really well with this stitch. It's not too bright white. It's distressed. I love the little detail of the screws. And this is the one that I want to put with those photographs that we have and the flag stitch, hopefully, on the wall. Right now, it's just sitting on my dining room table, kind of propped up so we can enjoy it. And then here is another stitch. This one is Waxing Moon Designs. Actually, let me walk back here because I think I actually have this one. Yes. I stitched this a couple years ago. It is on the, well, it's not on the called for fabric, but it is the called for colors. Preserving Liberty is the name of this chart. There are two. I still want to stitch this one, but as you can see, I made some changes to it. So I took out all these words in between America and the bunting, kind of squished it down, and then charted my own 1776 and moved the stars around. And that was to make it fit this paddle that I had. So my paddle wasn't quite tall enough for this, so I just kind of modified it a little bit and took some of that out. But I really think that this turned out really cute. It's one of my favorites. That's why I need to stitch Sweet Land of Liberty. So that's why it's kind of sitting here in my to-do pile. Here are all the colors, if you want to see, just because they're here. It's a mix of Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works, and again, it is called for. I just don't remember off the top of my head the color of the fabric. Well, it says right here. Oh, sand. It's Lugana. It's back when I was stitching on Lugana, so sand. Here's my piece left for the next one. I don't know if I'll stitch the other one on the same. I don't stitch on Lugana much anymore. We'll just have to wait and see. These are from Cherry Hill Stitchery. I stitched these, I want to say last year as well. It's the same fabric as Liberty Pennies. I may have even used some of the same colors. I'm not 100% sure. But then I finished them into these cute little pillows that sit in my dough bowl. So Old Glory, Stars and Stripes, and Let Freedom Ring. And then the last thing I just thought I'd share is this pillow, which is hard to see on here. So I'm going to switch back to me. Hey. So now you can see the whole pillow. So this is only a 10-inch pillow. It's a 10-inch pillow. I used a 6-inch block from a Lori Holt book. And I just used scrap. In fact, this is great for scraps because they're so little. And then gave it a border so it fit a 10-inch pillow form. This is the same pillow that my pumpkin was on that I made back in the fall. And then I haven't made a big one yet to fit on the big pillow, but it's in the plans, hopefully. I just love how this one turned out. It's so super cute. So those are all my kind of actually, I guess this isn't part of the parade because you haven't seen this yet. So this is a new finish, but that's all my patriotic things I wanted to share that I had finished previously. Okay, giveaways. Last video, my giveaway were 2 Primrose Cottage bee charts and the Berkshire Hive Ada, my winner. I'll put it up here. Sharon Williams. Sharon, if you will please email me at the email listed below and I will get that out to you. Then today's giveaway, please be 18 and please live in the US. It is donated by Kathy, Hands On Design, and of course it's to I Was Stitching charts. So you can join us in the stitch along as well. So if you will please use the word stitching somewhere in your comment, I will pick a winner, and please leave that comment by July 19th. For that prize. I think that's all the stuff to share today. One more thing I wanted to talk about is, in case you haven't noticed, I love Hands On Design. I also love Chantel and her finishing pieces, and Kathy and Chantel have teamed up for an amazing kit that I am very excited about. It is currently pre-ordered till the end of July. I will put up a little picture here so you can see. It's 3 finishing pieces, 3 charts designed by Kathy specifically for those finishing pieces. The kit also includes paint, I believe. It includes finishing stuff. So we're not just getting boards with no supplies. And in addition to that, it's going to include instruction from Chantel on how to finish them. That I'm really excited about. So I'm going to put a link to the pre-order down below. I have a special link with my name, so you can click that and you can order through there. And the other thing I wanted to talk about or say and mention is Chantel also has a Patreon, which she has been sharing some really great finishing tutorials there lately. She did 2 just this week. A crackle finish, which was awesome, and it used glue, and a finish that used cinnamon, which I would have never thought of, but it looked really cool. So I'm kind of excited to give both of those finishes a try. So if you have not checked out Chantel's Patreon, there's a link to that below too, and I think it is well worth the look. I think that's all for today. So thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate when you spend a little time with me because I know everyone's time is valuable. Thank you for all your comments. And your kind words, and I will see you next time. Happy stitching. Bye.